Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and another live stream, trying to get back into the habit of streaming on a more regular basis. Today, as you can see in the title and the thumbnail, how do we fix Manchester United? Obviously quite a broad topic, but basically the aim today is to take our starting 11, assess some of the strengths and weaknesses like we've done in the past, and then basically I want to go through a load of different players which you guys can suggest, I can suggest, and yeah, we're going to look at a load of different players. We can look at FBref reports. We can look at different data MB charts and graphs, things like that. Basically, we're just going to go through a load of different stuff, a load of different players which you guys might be interested in and perhaps you don't know too much about. I'm going to make some suggestions myself. Straight away, though, we've got loads of people in chat, so let me get over to this real quick. How is everybody doing? Are we all having a good day? Having a good week? What day is it today? Friday? Hang on, my chat isn't loading properly. Give me 1 second, guys. I believe I can see Chad in there. Made it before the Discord notification. Early bird catches the worm. FP, good to see you. Davidson, Abel, KM, good to see you all. Hope you're all well. Are we live? We are indeed alive. Hope everybody is good. How are we all feeling? Are we good? Get in chat. Let me know how your day's going. After that, we'll get into some of the football stuff. So basically, I think we discussed it not that long ago, right? We done a tier list and we kind of came up with the positions which we felt that United might sell soon. We went through every single player. I think we ended up selling one of our right backs. I think we ended up selling about 13 different centre backs. We ended up selling a couple of midfielders, wingers, forwards, different things like that. So a lot of today's stream is going to be on you guys perhaps suggesting a player you want to know more about, and then me perhaps bringing you some names as well also which we can look at. And I've also got a video similar to this coming out tomorrow morning, I believe, looking at a few right backs which you may not know about. So yeah, oh yeah, also FP flexing the red badge. Is that 2 months membership, the red badge? Appreciate your support as always, my friend. I believe Nuruddin gifted it to you on the last stream, I believe. Matt, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. How are you doing? So, first up, guys, let's say I'm giving you your Manchester United manager. He's £250 million. What positions are you targeting in the summer and which players? So perhaps a right back and then a player you would like, perhaps a right centre back, a player you would like. Go through that. We can look through some of the guys which you suggest. And like I said, I've got my own suggestions. I think for me personally, if you were asking for my opinion, I think we need a right-sided centre back. I think we need a right back personally. I think we need a midfielder in this position. We probably need a backup striker to Rasmus Højlund, which is an area I'm struggling with a little bit, so hopefully you guys can help me out there. Perhaps a right winger, if we don't believe in Anthony and we prefer Garnacho on the left-hand side. And the aim, basically what I want to do, like Jonathan has said there actually, he said United need to be more physically robust, and I agree completely. What we need to try and do with this United side is take the physical foundation and raise it. Because you can have tactical flaws, right? The second you have a more physical squad and a side which can cover more ground and things like that, that just naturally plugs gaps for you. Players which cover a lot of space, win a lot of duels. That makes life a lot easier for a manager. But at the same time, we need some technicians on the pitch as well. Ali, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Saying good morning, AJ and everyone. Looking forward to the show. Let's hit the 22k strong. We're nearly at 22,000 subscribers. We're getting there. I should definitely hit it by the end of the month. If you haven't subscribed, guys, subscribe to the channel. But thank you very much, as always, for the donation, Ali. Hope you're well. Hope the family's good. Hope work's going well. Everyone, spam a load of love hearts to say thank you to Ali, because as always, he's just a legend, isn't he? He is just a legend. So let's look through some of these suggestions early on. So yeah, Jonathan, I completely agree about the need to make United more physically robust. I think that's a really important thing for us to do. DJ Nature, mate, good to see you. Hope you're well. MUFC, good to see you. Hope life is treating you well, my friend. So I'm going to go through FP's suggestions straight away. So he's gone right back, Fresneda. Someone I've spoken about on the channel before. I've had caffeine, I'm talking too quick. Right centre back, Ousmane Diamond. Left centre back, Lusumi. I'm still not entirely sure how you say his name, but I've been watching him a lot recently. Good player, really good player. And then as a holding midfielder, Vifer. And then if we do need a right winger, he said about Bakayoko from PSV. Ewan's gone right centre back, Scalvini. 6, Amadou Onana. Right wing, undecided. maybe Nico Williams. And then he said also about a right back, but I'm not sure on the profile I want for that. I think the right back is one of the most difficult positions to pick for us at the moment, because we don't know what sort of style, if it's Erik ten Hag as manager next year. We don't really know what style he wants, because one kind of spell, Dalot is clearly the favoured, and obviously he's a very different type of profile. And then just a month later, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be the preferred player. So it's difficult to know actually what sort of profile right back Erik ten Hag is going for. So I agree, the right back area is a difficult one to pick. Alex, mate, good to see you. Hope you're well. Good to see you in stream, my man. Hope life's treating you well. Hope work is good. Matt saying, wonder if we will end up with 1 or 2 first choice and then a Pavard-esque rotation centre-back fullback. Possibly. Yeah, definitely possible. What we done a Discord stream last week. If you want to join the Discord, by the way, guys, there should be a link at the top of chat. You can join. And then if you are a channel member, DM me. You get access to exclusive streams. But what my opinion is on how United should approach things is we need to build our base and our foundation before adding to our attack. So let's say we get to June, July, whenever the window opens, rather than instantly targeting, you know, perhaps a right winger or a 10 or a striker, whatever. I think before we do that, we've got to improve our base. We've got to improve our defence in terms of, just punched the mic, in terms of the first team, you know, the starters in that back four, but also having rotation options which can come into the side and replace what we have when we need it. And then, of course, the midfield as well. So if I was Erik ten Hag approaching this transfer window in the summer, when we get there, I wouldn't be focusing on, you know, there's a lot of talk about United don't create enough chances. I don't think the solution to that is necessarily to splash all the cash on another forward. I would build the whole foundation of the side first, build the deeper areas, and then maybe the window after that, you bring someone else in. And the way I keep wording it is, I feel like an attacker is a little bit like the final piece of the jigsaw, whereas United always seems to treat it like, you know, a midfielder is the final piece of the jigsaw, which doesn't make sense because midfield is one of the most key areas on the pitch. So I think United need to build the foundation, and then we can look at, you know, attackers and things like that, perhaps further down the line in the future. Let's see what you guys keep suggesting in chat, though. Jonathan says United need to be more physically robust. So Dumfries at right back, Tadibo at right centre back, Ibrahim Sangare in midfield. 3 very physical players which allow the technical players to play their game, with Sangare and Kobe Mainu as the midfield duo. Edwick, mate, good to see you. Matt saying that whole pocket in the bottom right of our shape is key next window. Yeah, I mean, if we want to kind of quickly cover it, that right-hand side does look weak. The right-hand side looks like an area which needs strengthening. I quite like that left-hand side. Personally, there's some personal favourites of mine there, but the right-hand side's lacking a little bit. Bruno Fernandes as a pressing forward. Perhaps good to see you, mate. Saying good day. Seems like the summer could become a defensive overhaul. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Do you think Locatelli would be a good Casemiro replacement if we could hypothetically get him? Seems like he's back to balling out at Juventus right now. Locatelli is unbelievable. I think if I had a free choice at a midfielder to come into our side, Locatelli would be right up there. VK with the donation saying, good evening, all from Bangkok. Good to see you, VK, mate. Hope you're well. Hope life is treating you well. Hope work's going well. Everyone, say thank you to VK in the chat by spamming some love hearts. Absolute legend. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. I'll send you some love hearts myself. There we go. Make sure to say thank you, everyone, especially my members who have the badges. FP saying that his choices, which I read out earlier, would cost around 180 million to 200 million pounds. Yeah, I think that's about, yeah, probably about right. Locatelli, oh Locatelli, if only. We can dream. We can dream. Trying to read Matt's comment, but as he said, his autocorrect is a nightmare. There's a ton of talent output in the team. Agree it needs rigging out more than replacing right now. Needs bringing out more. Yeah, sorry, Matt, I've got you. Gotta love autocorrect completely ruining your messages. Yeah, I completely agree with what you have said there, though, for sure. Been busy with travels and just got back to Bangkok. Well, enjoy some time relaxing and less travelling, mate. Enjoy it. Channel member, as you can all see, what an absolute legend. Diamond would be the most costly out of FP suggestions. Most likely, I think he'll be quite expensive. Do you think Amadou Onana and Kobbie Mainoo would be a good midfield partnership? I think there's potential. I think Onana is right near the top of my list at the moment. I'm not fully sold on anyone yet. I've got a lot of work to do in the second half of the season. But yeah, I like the idea of Onana. I think he brings a lot of what we're talking about, you know, raising the physical floor, but also then adding something technical as well. Got uni exams in a week, can't watch us now. Go do your revision, mate. Go do your revision, Kevin. Have a good one. I think I spied you in Mina's stream, was it? Oh, sorry, you're talking to BK, my bad. Onana seems to be on every team's list. See him linked with every top club. I guess we'll start off with Onana. It feels like a good place to start. So let me quickly off-screen get something for you, and then we'll go from there. Now, the thing which is obviously interesting when we're looking through things like FP reports and stuff like that is you've got to always take into consideration the environment they're playing in. So, in my opinion, Onana is one of the best midfield options for United this summer. But when we actually break it down a little bit closer and look at the FP ref report, it looks pretty terrible. You know, it doesn't look very good at all. I'm just trying to find it on my screen real quick. There we go. But this is why it's important to take into consideration the environment and why not every player can be scouted through stats. Of course, stats can still supplement it, but we don't learn that much about Onana here, apart from that he's good in the aerial duels, really. What do you guys, in general, make of him? What do you guys think of Onana? If United were to go spend £60 million on Onana in the summer, is that something that you guys would like or not really? Let me know what you think, because realistically, if he was to come into the side, it would be in that Casemiro role. He would play in a double pivot alongside Kobbie Mainoo. What do you guys think? Joseph saying no straight away. Thoughts on Frimpong? Frimpong's a really good player. I'm unsure if it's what United need, because if you sign someone like Frimpong, you are committing to taking the club tactically in a certain direction. I think what's quite important for United at the moment is versatile players who can play a few different roles. Frimpong I very much see as a right wing back. I don't see him as a right back, maybe even a right winger. So, interesting. That was Onana's FP ref we were just on for a second there. Alex saying, I do wonder what happens with Branthwaite and Onana if Everton go down. How affordable would they be? Well, the talks over the past few days have been that even if they were to stay up, which I think they will, that financially they're probably going to have to let a few players go. I think Onana, Branthwaite, I think they would both cost around 50, 60 million pound. I think that's probably the region you're looking in. I think I'd want to pay about 50 for Onana tops. Yeah, in terms of the value I see him at, I think he's a 50 million pound player. And I think Branthwaite is about the same, maybe a little bit higher because of being a homegrown talent and things like that. But yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, that was Amadou Onana we were looking at there, FB. Matt saying, I get this vague feeling he's a player that a Liverpool or someone could turn into a real machine, but that we would cause to stagnate or look average. In reference to Onana. Possibly. Quite possibly. Hopefully. I don't know. Hopefully that's changing with Ineos and Ratcliffe and a new sporting structure by the summer. Hopefully. We don't know. How about Vanderson? Vanderson's a player I really want to watch in the second half of the season because I think he's a good talent. Good right back. He's a bit more versatile, can play a few more different roles. We can look at some stats on him shortly if you guys so wish. Perhaps we'll do a poll on what position we want to look at and then what players. £60 million is a lot, but if it's offset by outgoings, then it may work. We really need a centre-back too. Branthwaite and Onana for sub 100 million would be okay, if not the best. Still think we can be more astute elsewhere. But yeah, Ali has kind of alluded to something similar. We need a holding midfielder that is under the radar, a gem that hasn't been discovered yet. With all the financial fair play rules, the scout and the sporting director needs to do a good job. Edwick, good to see you, mate. We're just kind of assessing how United can improve their squad in the summer. Next summer, different players we can look at. We'll look at some stats and things like that. Todibo, Diamond, or De Ligt? De Ligt would be bottom of my list out of those three. Todibo or Diamond? Diamond's the better player. but it depends on and has the potential to be really good. It's about financially how many other positions we need to bring in. You might have to go for Todibo just to save a little bit of money. Same with Antonio Silva, who Joseph has just mentioned. He's expensive. Really, really expensive. You know, in the case of Antonio Silva, 80 million plus. He's a good player, he's great. But United need several positions here. What I want to do, actually, is which of this starting 11 do you think will be gone in the summer? Let me know that first of all, and then we'll go from there. So out of these starting 11 players, which ones do you think will no longer be at the club? Did I just lag out a little bit there, or are we good? I think we're good. Vifer's a really good shout. Vifer's a great player, playing for Feyenoord. The only concern I have with Vifer is tactically, he has one kind of aspect which is quite similar to Casemiro, and that is the fact that he tries to force the ball forward a bit too much. Now, Ten Hag might want that. We know that Ten Hag likes quite a quick, direct approach. He's not here for, possession for the sake of it. He likes to move the ball forward. So, if you're looking for a Rodri replacement, or a Rodri kind of replica, Vifer's probably not your guy, because he does like to get the ball forward a bit too quickly, and at times that leads to losses of possession. But he's certainly still a really good player. A really good player, and someone who would be a lot cheaper, probably 30 to 40 million pound. I think he would be a great option. He's, again, probably top 3 or 4 in my list at the moment. Redondo as the understudy. Yeah, Redondo is someone I need to watch a lot more, because it's about gauging his kind of traits and stuff he's got at the moment, but not just how good is he now. How is it going to translate to a much more difficult league? That's what's quite difficult with a player like that. How long do you think Bruno will stay at the club, as he isn't really suited to a possession-based side? Well, I guess the first question would be, does Ten Hag want to be a possession-based side? That would be the first question. To answer your main question, though, I think he's here for at least another 18 months, realistically. Arguably an astute decision. And what is that about Varane? Or Vifer, sorry. I think I could see one of Varane or Casemiro leaving. I don't think they will both leave. VK saying Todibo for his 1 versus 1 defending of space. So this is what United could do kind of quite quickly and quite easily. If we kind of want to break football down on a really basic level, one thing that United could do to increase the technical and physical floor of this side is sign Branthwaite at left centre-back, Todibo at right centre-back. In terms of those two positions, you won't get many which are physically superior. They're both good on the ball. They're both comfortable and confident on the ball. You instantly raise your floor there. Lisandro Martinez is a player who I keep looking at and having question marks over, but I'm not sure about that. The thing with someone like Branthwaite is he's a lot of money if he's not starting matches because we've got Lisandro. That's my issue. If we spend 60 million on Branthwaite, he's got to start. But then what do we do with Licha? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second half of the season and really see what Ten Hag's plan is with the shape. Then we'll probably get more of an understanding of exactly what profiles we need, and perhaps we'll do another stream towards the end of the season to cover that. But it is something to keep an eye on. I think Casemiro has lost his fitness because of the club not being consistent in the league, and he's lost ambition. Quite possibly. If so, that would be a concern, though. That would be a concern for a player to lose ambition like that. He should still have a few years at the top, really, in his career, so. What about Lisandro Martinez, left back? Not convinced by it, just because I don't know how good he is at defending wide spaces. But if you want to really control the ball, it could work. If you want to really be a possession-dominant side, I would pursue it. United may need to sign 2 centre-backs if Varane, Evans, and either Maguire or Lindelof leave. Yeah, well, I think there's the argument, Alex, in a world, there's a world where we could need 3 centre-backs, which is crazy because I just don't see that happening. But realistically, in my opinion, what we need is a backup to Lisandro Martinez or to the left centre-back position, because at the moment, when he comes out, the whole structure changes. So I was talking about this in a video the other day. One of my big concerns with the side is that if Lisandro Martinez isn't available, we completely change our approach. So we have to get someone who can do a similar job. So that's one thing we need. I think we need a starting right centre-back. Maybe a third one as backup. maybe a third one as backup, which is a lot of money on centre-backs. I think realistically, 2 is more likely. Perhaps a starting right centre-back with Varane or Lindelof as backup to them, and then Lisandro Martinez left centre-back with a backup to them. So someone said about Yoel Hato there. Great shout. Great shout. Really good young player. I think Lusumi is another one who's another really good option. A little bit older, more experienced, but perhaps a little bit under the radar. Part of the reason why I like Scalvini, very two-footed, plays left centre-back for Atalanta when he has to. Yeah, great player technically. Alex, completely agree, but do you think Cambuala could be the third as backup? Yeah, I think he could essentially be like our 5th choice centre-back, if you know what I mean, and play like 2 backup roles. I don't know how good he is on the other side, but yeah, I certainly think he could be. And it would be nice to see him, give him the trust to be. I probably need to watch him more, though, to decide actually how good I think he is. But yeah, I think we probably want 4, first team standard centre-backs, and then perhaps a young 5th choice centre-back. That's how I like it. Is Scalvini's passing any good? I've only seen his stats, not watched him play. Yeah, he's a good passer. He's a good, strong passer of the ball. Perhaps a left-back that can play as left centre-back. Someone similar to Luke Shaw, covering 2 jobs. That's the other option, of course, as well, that we actually convert Luke Shaw into a centre-back. But then again, I just think he's too good to be backup. But it's interesting. Imagine under Amorim, Branthwaite, Licher and Todibo. Yeah, unbelievable back three. That back three would be dreamy. Incredible. I've missed some comments here, though, so let me scroll up a little bit. If you want to guarantee that I see your comment, by the way, you can use a super chat. You can send however much you want, but it guarantees that I see your message and I'll read it out. Don't feel that you have to, though. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez both were sold under 50 million combined before they became a big name. Ralph recommended Enzo when he managed United, and he was worth less than 15 million. Yeah, we've got to do a better job of finding those players. I'm just fighting off a sneeze right now. I don't want to sneeze. Composure. Ice in the veins. I'm good. Looking realistically, says Tim, we can afford about 4 players if they average about 40 to 50 million pound each. I'd go for 1 centre-back, 2 central midfielders, being a 6 and an 8, and a backup centre-forward. If we have extra dosh, then a backup left centre-back. I guess that's actually something that we should cover as well. How much do you think we'll actually be able to spend in the summer? How much do you reckon we'll be able to afford? How much can we spend? Let's say we could raise... trying to think of players we could sell. Perhaps Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire. Let's say, as a rough guesstimate sort of job, we can raise... I'll lowball it, £80 million on sales, although I think we could raise more if we wanted to. How much do you think that gives us to spend? In terms of total. VK with the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, VK. What an absolute legend. So 10 of you guys, which weren't members before, are now members. Legendary stuff. Thank you very much, VK. Greatly appreciate it. Everyone, if you are a member, spam some love hearts in the chat to say thank you, because that is super, super generous. Thank you so much, VK. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Seeing Codename, Manuel, some regulars in there becoming members. Thank you very much. Yeah, obviously someone like Sancho as well is someone who could leave. Now, as FP has pointed out there, I could see all 3 of those guys leaving. So that being Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, and Jadon Sancho. I do see a world where all 3 of those leave. At which point, we do have to consider the homegrown quota. So, you're looking at... I done a video on it the other day. Those homegrown talents, you do have to have a certain amount in the Premier League. I'm not sure exactly how much you have to have. I'm not exactly sure of the rules. But it is something to consider as we look at players, those homegrown talents which United could need. Don't forget Greenwood. Yeah, Greenwood is another one, who, if we were to let him go in the summer, that's another homegrown spot we're missing. Zambrano and Redondo are arguably the next midfielders in that Caicedo-Enzo bracket before the big fees. Yeah, they're kind of the two I've got my eye on at the moment. I dare say there's plenty others as well, which I don't even know about yet. Zambrano's been linked with Bournemouth a lot. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes there, develops, and then gets a big move. Will be interesting to watch. Elise is homegrown. If we swap him with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, yeah, there were talks of that sort of structured deal kind of being, or going on a little bit behind the scenes. I'm not sure how true it is, but would be interesting. Does the homegrown quota maybe give some of our loanees a better chance to stick around? Yeah, possibly. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the exact ruling is. Apologies if you can hear a load of noise out there. We've got a dog just going absolutely mental, so apologies for that. Sancho, McTominay, Maguire, Varane, Martial, and Evans all gone. And then on the free, Pellistri, Hannibal, Alvaro Casemiro. Yeah, there's potentially a lot of money for United to make this year. What do you think is a decent net spend? I think I've got it written down somewhere, our last few windows. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If I can't, I'm just going to look stupid, but hey ho. I feel like I look stupid a fair amount anyway. Ooh, completely out of focus. There we go. Let me see if I can find it. I wrote some bits down the other day about this. But let me see if I can find it. Or have I completely lost it? I think I've completely lost it. So let's just pretend I never said anything there. You know what? We're going to find it on here. Give me 1 second. What we got on screen at the moment, a tactical board. I want to quickly show you guys something which I was looking into the other day, because it was really concerning. And it's to do with our inability to sell players, or to sell players for a good fee. 100 million net at best. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe, apparently, him coming in, is going to give us a bit more license. You know, a bit more freedom. Not sure. I think 100 to 150 million net is realistic. Plus perhaps 80 in sales, for example. Let me just find something though, which I want to show you guys. How do I do this by season? 1 second, everybody. Just bear with. Thank you, Ali, very much for the kind words. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Anyway, where is this that I'm looking for? Can I do this by season? Oh, we can. Look at that lovely stuff. Okay, so now let me get this up on screen for you guys. We'll zoom it right out. Okay, so I'm blocking a little bit. Maybe I can just move myself out of the way. I've got a donation. I'll read that out in just 1 second. Keep an eye on what's on screen here, guys, while I read the donation out. 1 second. Hang on. Can you see that? There we go. Jonathan Wilfred with the $5. Thank you so much for the donation. Everyone, spam love hearts right away to say thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I greatly appreciate that. Saying, what do you think about Joey Veerman as a Bruno replacement? Great player. Really good player. I don't know that United will go for him. I'm also not convinced whether he's a 10 or, you know, an 8, a little bit deeper, but a really good player. So an absolutely great shout. And Victor Christensen as a Shaw and Lisandro Martinez backup. Truthfully, I don't know too much about Victor Christensen. Who does he play for? Am I being silly? But thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, Veerman is a great player. Like I said, as for the other guy, I'm not really too sure about him because I don't really know who he is. Do I still back Ten Hag? While he's manager, I'll back him. Pat B, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Shame you can't stay, but I'll catch you in the next one, mate. Have a good day. Anyway, I think this is a really important point. So what we've got here is United's just gone. Season just gone. Is this big enough? Can you guys see this? I can zoom it a little bit more, can't I? There we go. So, this is the summer just gone. In euros, I'm not sure why it's in euros rather than pounds, but hey-ho. We can see that United spent 202 million. And we bought in 55 million. Okay? So that's a net spend of what? About 150. Approximately. So, you know, we've not generated much money there. In terms of sales, that doesn't look great. It gets worse though, right? Let's go to the season before. So this is now Erik Ten Hag's first summer. Now, again, I'm worried that I'm cutting off some of this, but again, you're just going to have to deal with it. I can read it out to you. We can see that in Erik Ten Hag's first summer, we only made 23 million euros in player sales. That's an absolute joke. 23 million euros in player sales. So in the last two windows, the last 2 years, I should say, combined, we have made 23 and 78 million euros in sales. And we've spent about 450 million euros. We've got to find a way to sell players better. Let's go to the season before that. We sold 31 million euros worth. We can see it here. 31 million euros. Summer before that, 19 million euros. Summer before that, 81, where it was a bit better, but that was because of Lukaku. Summer before that, 30 million. Summer before that, 45, so a bit better. But what you can see is that in the last 5 to 6 years in particular, we've just been absolutely horrendous at selling footballers. And, you know, when near enough every season, we're shelling out sort of, I don't know, we're close to £200 million really every season. And we're only making, at the most, £50 million back, and some windows only £20 million. There's no wonder we're struggling a little bit with certain financial aspects of the club. Now, this year could be a little bit different. You know, we've got some real talents we can sell here. Scott McTominay, in my opinion, is worth over £40 million. Genuinely, I believe that. If you look at the current market, someone like Chelsea asking for over 50 million for Brozier. Scott McTominay is an experienced international who has played Champions League, Premier League football on a regular basis. He's worth north of £40 million. The same for Harry Maguire as well. Easily worth that. But will United get it? Because right there you're looking at £80 million, which would be more than we've made in any of the last 10 transfer windows realistically. There's Sancho there, Casemiro, Varane. There is potential this window that for once United actually makes some money. Plus with backing of new owners, we might have something to spend. We might, I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not an expert on the financial side of football. But there might be money in and around the club. Muhammad Ali, good to see you, mate. Long time no see. I hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, Jonathan, who donated earlier, Jonathan Wilfred. Could you tell me a little bit more about Victor Christensen, please? That'd be great. So you were saying Sancho, 25 to 40 million. Greenwood, about 40. Maguire, 30. McTominay, 40. 5 or 10 from young players. There's money there. There is money there. That is pathetic. How are we so bad at absolutely every aspect of running a football club? The Glazers. We can't recruit, we can't sell, we can't provide appropriate contract. Why? Again, hopefully all this is going to change. Hopefully. Anyway, going back to actually the main point of the stream. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked on a little rant just because of some research I'd done the other day. In terms of positions to sign, let's bring Casemiro back here. What we'll do actually, let's double up in the positions where we've got double talents. So, right wing we'll go for Anthony. And we'll go for Ahmad. Perhaps Sancho, Greenwood, we're not too sure at the moment. We don't know what the future is there. We've got Bruno, we've got Mount, we've got Eriksen. So realistically, we probably don't need a 10 or an 8. Because we've got 2 players in each of those positions. I'd actually like to see Mount and Eriksen swapped in this. In terms of the 6th position, Casemiro seems like he might be leaving in the summer. Amrabat doesn't look like it's going to be extended. So I would argue there is a need for 2 6s. That's concerning. Eriksen should be sold. I agree with the idea that he isn't good enough. The problem is, again, as with everything here, when United are trying to do so much work, when United are trying to offload so many players, certain players which aren't quite good enough will have to stay at the club. Because we can't find ourselves in a position where we need about 20 different players. Jonathan Wilfred with another $5 donation. What an absolute legend. Once again, guys, get in the chat and spam the love hearts to say thank you. Thank you so much for the donation, saying Victor Christensen plays for Bologna under Thiago Motta in their system. See, I have watched a fair bit of Bologna this season, watching a couple of their players. Maybe I need to pay closer attention to Victor Christensen. Maybe I need to pay attention to him. So do you reckon he can play centre-back as well? Again, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you so much. Yeah, do you reckon Christensen can play at centre-back as well, or you're unsure? Let me know what you think. With new director of football, United should easily raise 100 million. A new owner can add 90 million, and we normally spend 120. So I would expect 300 million plus gross spend if we're optimistic. If we're optimistic, yeah. Back to positions. What other areas would you guys say we need to prioritise? I think we need those 3 positions in defence. You know, even if you want to sell Varane, you can have perhaps Lindelof as a backup right centre-back. And like Alex said earlier, Kambwala would then be our 5th choice. We need a backup striker. You know, it looks like Martial will leave in the summer. And I think it's about time, really. So I think we need a backup centre-forward. Right on cue, Alex has agreed. Need a new winger. Really need a new right winger. We've got to prioritise the midfield first, though, surely, right? Because let's say Casemiro goes, which I don't know if he will. I don't know, but let's assume he does. Should we assume? I'll tell you what, even if he stays, he's not what we need in the starting 11. So for me, if I could make probably 5 signings, this is what I would do. If I was limited to 5, these are probably the 5 signings that I would make. In terms of if we've got to put them in priority order, I'd go right centre-back is the most needed. Then a midfielder. Then a backup striker. Honestly, I think that's really essential for us. Then a right back. Then left centre-back. Then a right back. And then after that, you probably look at right wing. If you don't think Antony's good enough, if we're unsure about Ahmad. Obviously, we do have Garnacho, who could maybe do a job over there based on what we've seen in recent weeks. Would you guys agree, though, that this is, you know, we've got to live in a real world here. You can only sign a certain amount of players every year. You don't have unlimited funds. Do you guys agree that that's about right in terms of what we need? A ball carrying 6/8 should be our biggest priority. Yeah, I mean, I've got it as second priority, but I think it's right up there. It's a failure of a window if we don't. I think right wing or centre forward comes before signing the second centre back. Before signing this guy, you mean? Right back is not high on a priority list. Can't really speak. Priority list for you. The right back one, I'm always undecided. I've got a video looking at some right backs coming tomorrow. I'm always really undecided on that right back position. You know, Dalot could be good enough. He could be the one. But, you know, his final third, the end product, is just not great. I think if we actually utilised him full time as an inverted fullback, I think he's more than good enough. It's the fact that we don't do that which probably raises question marks. Obviously, we've also got Malacia here, who can be our backup left back. So let me put him into the side real quick. I personally think these are the areas we're recruiting. Right wing depends on Ahmad's performances and if the club wants to bring back Greenwood. Yeah, and obviously Sancho comes into that debate as well. The thing with someone like Greenwood as well, I don't want to talk about it too long just because of off-the-pitch stuff, but he would provide depth right wing, but also up front as well. He is a potential option. Of course, that's where we all thought he was going to, you know, develop into, so possibly. Remember, McTominay and Casemiro both probably going. I really don't know. Let's do a poll. Now, this is not what do you want. This poll is what do you think will happen. What do you... I can't type. You think... What do you think will happen? And let's go. Casemiro stays versus Casemiro leaves in the summer. Again, this is not what you want. It's what you think will happen. Obviously, it might also be impacted in what happens in the second half of the season. Again, that is something that I want to look at. But, you know, he might have a storming second half of the season, be incredible, like he was last season, and then we keep him. So I'm interested to see, again, this is what you think rather than what you want as such. Do we want a starting right centre-back like Todibo or a backup who will learn like Silva? Truthfully, I think they're both starting choice centre-backs. But yeah, we need a starter in my opinion. We'll also do another similar poll for Rafael Varane because I think they're really interesting topics. Again, it's not just about do we want them to stay, it's do we think they will. Because if we think they will, it completely changes what we need. And if we do want them to stay, perhaps they need to be on, contracts which suit us a little bit more. We'll see. I think we need to capitalise on Rashford if any club is going for him. Potentially. The problem there is you then need to spend £90 million on a left winger to find an upgrade on Rashford because there's not many that are better than him in my opinion. See you later, Pat B, mate. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one, mate. Wages will probably be the driving factor if Casemiro leaves. Yeah, possibly. Only way that Casemiro will leave is if Saudi keeps spending big. I think they may not spend big anymore, though. Yeah, perhaps have been burned a little bit from what they've done last summer. I don't think we will keep Casemiro due to his high wages. Same goes to Varane. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, Antonio Silva, incredible talent. Incredible talent. Sancho to PSG is the most obvious transfer next summer. Yeah, I could certainly see it happen. It feels like a PSG signing. It would probably suit Sancho. Especially if Mbappe was to leave. I quite like it. What do you think the style of play should be, thus deciding who to sign? The problem is, FP, what I think the style of play should be and what I think the style of play will be are quite different. And I think that's something that I've really had to come to terms with in the past 12 months or so. I think we got to a point where actually Ten Hag football is different to what we thought it was. I think we all thought Ten Hag football was what he played with Ajax. It doesn't seem like that's actually his idea. That was quite a Ajax-heavy influence. So I think we're always going to see something different with the United side. So, I think in midfield, for example, I think we need physical profiles which can cover a lot of ground, which can ball carry, which can win duels. I think those are kind of the boxes we need to tick. Out wide, you need to be good in 1-versus-1 situations. You need to be fairly decent in terms of ball retention, things like that. At centre-back, I think to be a Ten Hag fullback, you need to be centre-back, sorry. You need to be good on the ball, and at least one of the pairing has to be very strong and aggressive, because the demand to play Ten Hag football is high. It's a real high demand style of play. It's really physically demanding, so we need better physical profiles. But in terms of, yeah, actually, what I want it to be is probably quite different. Yes, please, Chad. That'd be great, mate. Let me just quickly read out my address so you can send it to me. It is 5... No, I'm kidding. Hey, AJ, just joined now. Shaw 2 needs to be shown the door. Inconsistent and poor availability. Interesting. We'll maybe come to a Shaw poll shortly. But thank you very much for joining the stream. I hope you're well, my friend. We need to let go of Erik Ten Hag. I think in the summer we might, truthfully, which of course completely changes the plan here. We need a blend of possession and counter-attack, like Xabi Alonso or Amorim. Yeah, Amorim is someone I could see actually taking the job, so I see what you're saying there. Edwick saying, I liked what you said just then. I wonder Ten Hag wanted Antony in that case. He's not really a winger who takes on his man, unless Ten Hag has adapted his plans since joining United. Yeah, like you said there, there's absolutely a chance that Erik Ten Hag came in and has realised, okay, they can't do what I thought they could, we need to change. I think a lot of it is when you're a new manager coming into a new club and you haven't worked with the scouts and things like that, so you don't know all the players they're looking at, it's quite easy to fall back on the players you trust, and that being players you've worked with before. So I think that's some of it. I also think, I actually just genuinely think he underestimated the Premier League a little bit and the demands of it. Pep Guardiola done the same, and he's spoken about this in his biographies before because I've read them, where the demand of the Premier League and what the Premier League was physically going to take from his players was even more than what he expected. So I think Ten Hag thought he could come in and sign Antony, who is a player who brings control. He does. If you are in a controlled system, to this day I still think Antony can be a good player in a possession-heavy side. Providing there's goals coming from midfield, I think Antony can be good in that system. So I think Ten Hag thought the side was closer to that control than what it is, basically. A lot closer. So if we were right now a possession side which really dominated the ball, I think Anthony would actually look pretty decent. Still not £100 million worth, he never will be. But I think he'd look quite good and wouldn't be a problem of the side. The problem is we're just not that settled team. And we're not going to be for a while yet. That's the problem. That's the problem there. Do Manchester United lack lead by example players? Perhaps in certain areas. I think Bruno Fernandes, for example, is a really good lead by example player in terms of work rate and things like that. Perhaps not actual decision making with the ball at his feet, but it's a difficult one to say, really. The Casemiro poll, by the way, is unbelievably close. Currently got 60 votes. Can we get a few more on there? Also, by the way, I've just realised we've only got 31 likes on the stream, despite 112 people being here. Now, I've got adverts coming up in 1 minute. If you leave a like on the stream, I'll skip the adverts for you guys, so you don't have to watch them. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So if you wouldn't mind, could you like the stream, please? It would be greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and also tell your friends about the stream and the channel, because we're trying to grow as a community. I think we have got literally the best corner of the internet over here. I think we've got a great community, so leave a like on the stream, and I'll skip the adverts to say thank you. 44 likes. Can we get to 50 in the next 20 seconds? And I'll skip the adverts. We need to get to 50 likes, guys. We need 6 likes. 6 likes and I'll skip the adverts. We need 4 more. You don't want to watch adverts, do you? Be quick. Be quick. Dun, 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 dun. 48 likes. You know what? I'll skip the ads anyway because I'm a nice person. Look at that. Don't say I don't do anything for you guys. I've accidentally closed chat though, so where are you? VK with another donation. Thank you so much, mate. Saying, I don't see Ten Hag being Ineos long-term manager. He is either ignorant or arrogant. Perhaps a blend of the two. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My personal opinion is that I don't think he will be here next season unless he has a really strong second half of this season. That's my opinion. Of course, we don't know for sure, but that's kind of where I see it. Again, thank you so much for the donation. I really do greatly appreciate that. Everyone, again, as always, spam the love hearts to say thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he will be here next season. I kind of see at the moment, it's like he's got a bit of an interim job, or almost like a trial period, where if he does well now, I could see him being our manager next year. But if he struggles second half of the season, I think he'll be gone. I feel like owners do want their own manager, if you know what I mean, a manager that they've brought into the club. So I don't know. If you read the Ten Hag biography, you'll see a lot about how stubborn he can be. Yeah, I really want to read that, actually. I'm currently reading one of the Sir Alex Ferguson ones. I can't remember which one it is. But I'm currently reading that. And yeah, I would like to read the Ten Hag one at some point. Victor, thank you very much. That's quite handy. Saying 8 homegrown players needed in a 25-man team. Of course, youth players and things like that also come into it. Do you guys agree overall, though, largely, that these are probably the 6 positions that we have to prioritise? Do you guys agree with that? Also, I haven't seen enough love hearts in chat, guys. More love hearts to say thank you to VK. And also to Jonathan. And also to Ali. Everyone who has subbed. Everyone. Let's get some more love hearts in the chat to say thank you. Ali saying, sacking Ten Hag will cost 15 million. Plus, the new manager will have to deal with all the previous signings. I think they will renew his contract. Or, sorry, not renew his contract and let it expire. When does his contract expire? Is it 2025? The summer of 2025? That's better. Let's turn the chat green, guys. Turn the chat green. Keep spamming those hearts. Good stuff. 2025. Yeah, that's obviously then possibly another solution. Anyway, do you guys agree that this is probably the areas we need to improve? Now, you guys have voted. Let me just read the details of this. 71 people voted. 56% thought that Casemiro would leave. Now, I'm only really deeping this now, truly, but if Casemiro leaves, do we need 2 6s? Now, we use the term 6. It could be a 6/8. Again, it depends tactically what you want to do. But we have got a hole here in midfield. Now, we've got someone like Dan Gore coming through, but I think he'll probably be loaned next season. I'm not going to do a poll for this, but I assume you guys think that McTominay will leave as well. I would assume Mainu will be the 6. I prefer him so much more as an 8, personally. Ten Hag might disagree, or whoever his next manager might disagree. But for me, Kobe is so similar to Frenkie de Jong, with much better defensive attributes. And Frenkie de Jong is an 8. And I think Kobe Mainu needs to be used in a similar way. If Casemiro leaves, I think Mainu will be used as a 6 and McTominay might stay. It's definitely possible. It is definitely possible. Not sure. Again, I prefer him as an 8, which FP summed up nicely there. An all-phase 8. Borderline kind of a 6/an 8. So not a... You know, Kevin De Bruyne's often played in the 8 position at Manchester City. I'm not talking about a player which plays that high. But someone more like... A bit more like Bernardo Silva. Again, he's quite different individually in terms of profile. But in terms of the job they do, the fact that sometimes they are deep in a double pivot, and then they're given that license to roam a little bit higher. That's what I think I want to see from Kobe Mainu. Because all I'm thinking here, right, guys, is if we do need, let's say, 2 6s in midfield, we need 2 6s. We can't spend 60 million on Onana because it's just too much. You know, what did we say? We said we can probably work about 100 million in sales, and our net spend is normally about 130 to 150, typically, plus new owner boost. So we've probably got about 250 million to work with. If we're bringing in, 7 players for 250 million, someone do the maths, that's about 35 million per player. For first team positions, if you're doing that, you're not getting your Onanas, you're not getting your Diamonds, your Antonio Silvas. It's going to be a difficult one to work with in the summer. And it's for a reason like that, I wonder if Casemiro stays as that backup player. Would he be willing to stay as a backup? Not sure. Same for Varane. Interesting to discuss. Because, again, if Varane was to leave as well, that opens up a whole other position we could need. Which is why, again, I was saying earlier, someone said about Eriksen leaving. You can't be quite that ruthless with it, simply because we've got a lot of positions already which need upgrading. We can't afford to be that ruthless because we can't sign enough. Edwick saying, AJ, you always make me flip my opinion. Maybe Cassie does need to say. Possibly. We'll probably get 4 to 5 players, so it's more like 50 to 55 million per player. I think 5 or 6 signings is a lot in one go. Exactly. I completely agree. Which means maybe we don't get our right winger and things like that. Maybe we don't sell Casemiro. I think I've got it written down somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Not written down, sorry. I think that website we were on earlier, we can obviously see how many players that United have bought in each position. So let me just get that up in 1 second. It's just taking its time to load right now. But let's get an average, or an idea for sure, of how United have done their work in the past. In terms of incomings. Sorry, Worms reference for anyone who plays Worms. No? Okay. So last summer, in terms of permanent transfers that I would class as first team signings there, Bayindir, Onana, Mount Hoyland, plus Amrabat on loan. Everyone loving the Worms reference. Good stuff, guys. Love that from you. Hang on, I've broke my green screen here, I think. What you can see is that on average we get 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 there. Season before that, Anthony, Casemiro, Licha, Malacia. So again, and Eriksen to be fair, so probably 5 there. I think that's fair to call that as a 5. Season before that, Sancho, Varane, Ronaldo. So what, 3? Before that, Donny, Tellez, Cavani, in terms of players which come into the first team. So we're not going to get, I don't think, that 6 or 7 player window which a lot of people want. So we're going to have to be careful with who we let go, because we can't just go sign 7 players unless it's different, of course, under new owners. Do you think it will be different? Do you think it will be a drastic change to the approach? Do you think, because of Ineos will want to make that statement, do you think we could see a world where we get 6 players, for example? Personally, I think 5 is that upper limit, with some of them, like a couple being rotation-based players. 3 out and 3 in? 3 to 4 year rebuild with 3 quality players every year. Okay. So, baseball bat off the cliff. You guys are literally just talking about worms now. Great game though, great game. Let's say you're only allowed to make, I'll be harsh. You can make 3 signings. What 3 positions do you go for? So let's start with that initially. Thanks for the kind words, Mark. Greatly appreciate it. Everything seems to be lining up with the fact that Ineos slash Sir Jim's approach is the polar opposite to the Glazers. Yeah, very true. So it could be like 6 players realistically. Okay, so let's look at... See, straight away, what we can see is we've got different opinions. What was the question? I wasn't listening. Edwick, I'm going to have to ban you for that, I'm afraid. The question was, if you could only sign 3 positions this summer, what 3 would you go for? Take a budget out of the occasion, just 3 players. So, we've got centre-back, holding midfielder, centre-forward. Right centre-back, holding midfielder, forward. Right centre-back, 6, right-back. Centre-back, holding midfielder, striker. Centre-back, holding midfielder, versatile forward. Striker, holding midfielder, and a right-footed centre-back. A centre-back, a centre-mid, and a centre-forward. A 2-footed centre-back, a left-sided centre-mid, and a backup striker. A centre-back, a left-back, and a 6. A centre-back, a 6, a centre-forward, a striker, a centre-mid, a centre-back. It's actually quite difficult when you have to narrow it down like this. Right centre-back, 6/8, and a centre-forward. Now, what I've noticed there is not many of you guys have said left centre-back. Now, with that, is that because you don't think we need one, or just because it's not in your kind of your top 3 priority, which it isn't in mine either, as you can see here. Just remembering that Sandro is 26. Yeah, Mohammed, I saw that you saw left centre-back. Said left centre-back, sorry. I just meant in general, not many people said it. Make a vote. There's a lot of positions to put into a vote is the problem. Not high enough priority. So would you guys, for next season, use Lisandro Martinez as your starting centre-back and Shaw as your backup? Is that how you would do it? So, you know, let's say your back 4 ideally is Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, new centre-back, Dallo, for example. And then, if Lisandro Martinez is to get injured, you move Shaw there. Because the problem is, I think we've got to a stage at the moment with this season where, because this season has been so ridiculous with injuries, we're a little bit scarred. So it feels like we need 2 players for every position. But the second you do that, it is difficult to manage a squad like that. So if you're using Shaw as a backup centre-back, is he typically a first choice fullback, or are you literally taking him out of the first team and having him purely as a backup? Shaw and a youth player. More chance of Shaw getting injured, so I'd get Branthwaite for left centre-back backup and Licher left-back when Shaw is injured. With that idea, does that side then become higher in your priorities? Every top club has 2 in every position. I think a few years ago they did. I think it's changed a little bit. I think if you look at Manchester City, rather than necessarily having 2 in every position, they have a load of players who can play a load of different areas. So Kovacic, for example, can be used as a 6, an 8, or a more attacking midfielder. The same for Matheus Nunes. They've got Doku, who can play either wing. They've got Foden, who can play about 5 different positions. The same for Bernardo Silva. I think what City have done, they've probably got a core squad of about 18, 19 players. But because they're also versatile, they kind of cover a few positions, and then obviously youth players as well. The problem that I have, if we use Lisandro Martinez as our starting left centre-back and Shaw as the backup, the issue I have here is they've both been injury-prone this season. And there's therefore the risk that this time next year we're in the exact same position with our left side of the fence. Perhaps it would be okay if the rest of our side's more balanced. But again, just kind of thinking out loud, seeing what you guys think. Do you think Nunes, who joined City last summer, would have done better at United? Yeah, I don't think we need him anymore. I don't think he's the profile we need now with the direction we've gone in. But a couple of years ago when he was at Sporting, I think it was 2 years ago, I done a video on him and why United should sign him. I think back then, yeah, he would have done well at United. Someone like Kusunu has a lot of potential to cover multiple positions. Spot on, I completely agree. And I wonder if that's what we need to head towards more. Versatile players, rather than specialists in certain positions. Players who can play a few different roles, that might be what we need. Exactly why we need at least one left centre-back. It's difficult. It's really difficult. Can you guys give me your priority order then? Again, I really want to get your guys' opinions in chat. Actually, I'll start with a poll for this. So we'll go, your priority signing. Apologies if I've spelt that wrong. Spelt that wrong. Right centre back. We're going to go for 6. And let's go for a backup striker. Let's do a poll. Licha had a bad surgery, so he's not injury prone, just unlucky. Yeah, possibly. Corey, mate, good to see you. I hope you're well. We're discussing what United need to sign, basically, in the next 18 months. I feel like what we've done today, though, is actually not look at individuals that much. We've looked at positions. Maybe in the next stream, we'll go to, maybe today we pick 3 or 4 positions we need. Then next stream, I'll bring you guys some players we could sign for those areas. That could be a good stream. Hope you're good, though, Corey, mate. It's good to see you in chat, as always. I hope life is treating you well, my friend. City have players that can play everything. Exactly. Good plan? Nice. Glad you guys like it. Seems like a good idea to me. Gives me a bit of work to do over the weekend, but we don't mind that. 65 likes currently, guys. Thank you very much for the support. Do you reckon we can get that to 70? I reckon we can. 70 likes. We can do that. What do you think of Gonzalo Inacio? Good player. Really good player. Similar flaws to Lisandro Martinez, but a little bit taller. Good player, though. Good player. Not sure he's what United needs. Not sure. What if we get a centre-back who can play both positions? The issue with that is we want... So you're saying a player who starts right centre-back, but could be left centre-back when Licha gets injured and a different right centre-back comes through? I'm uncomfortable with swapping centre-back what side they play on. I don't like it personally. I'd definitely get a left centre-back and right centre-back this summer, so Licha can maybe play left-back with a taller one in Branthwaite. There's definitely potential there as well. I would like to perhaps look into the whole idea of Licha at left-back a little bit more. Although personally I think Shaw is a wonderful player. Ali has challenged you guys. He has said 70 likes is below par. He said, let's aim to 80. I like it. Guys, can we get to 80 likes for today's stream? Maybe, if we do that, someone might gift a membership to you. It's possible. It's possible. Licha inverted left back? Yeah, it's definitely possible. There is something there which could work. What do you think of Thomas Souček? Not a fan, personally. I don't think he's that good. Physically, he brings a lot to a side, but technically he's lacking. His reading of the game, things like that, not great. He's a useful player for someone like West Ham, though. But probably never higher than that. What about a back 3 next season? I don't see it under Erik Ten Hag. Perhaps under a different manager it could. Didn't Licha occasionally play as a left centre-back in a back 3 in the World Cup? I can't remember. But potentially a really good shout. And if it is the case, I'm going to find those matches and watch them to see how he deals with defending out wide. Yeah. You might be onto something there, and if you are, great shout, I need to watch it. Do you think Xabi Alonso would take the job if they did fire Ten Hag? It's definitely a step up for him, no offence to Bayer Leverkusen, they're a good side, but it would be a step up for him. Possibly. We're up to 70 likes, guys, thank you very much. Can we push 80? If not, we can definitely do 75. At least 40 of you here haven't pressed the like button, so let me just sit here for a second. Go on, guys, leave a like. Okay, I'm bored of sitting there, but like the stream anyway. Right centre mid, a physical player, someone who shows for the ball and can carry the ball. This is Matt saying this, by the way. A right centre back who has good IQ, composed passing and progression, and a right back, again, good IQ, capable of inverting. I do like the idea of an inverted fullback. I still think it's something that Ten Hag should pursue more. We done it quite well last season, and we're just not using it this year. We're just not. AJ, are you going to do a video where you compare last season to this season to see what has changed so much? I quite like the idea of that. I'm actually going to take a note of that. Yeah, it seems like a decent idea. I'm not sure when I would do it. Let me quickly write that down though. Thank you very much. This season to last season. Thank you very much. Who said that? Whose idea was it? Edwick, thank you very much for the suggestion. Thank you very much, Edwick. Appreciate that. Just reading through chat to see anything I've missed. Yeah, Alex, it would definitely be interesting to see Licher if he did play on the left side of the back three. To be fair, Malacia and Dallo do well as inverted fullbacks. Absolutely. Absolutely. If those two, you know, if we are to use inverted fullbacks more, those two can do it, for sure. Really good players. Really good inverted players. You'd like a Register style 6, to be honest. If you want a Register, Kobe Mainu could maybe become that. Although, I still prefer him higher. I think what's important to remember is that, you know, I think the solution you see online a lot, and it's my personal solution, is a big, ball-winning, ground-covering, ball-carrying central midfielder. That's not the only option. There are other routes that United could take if they so wish. So we do have to keep our eyes open for different players. When is the video on Fofana or Zubamendi coming? If we were to be heavily linked with them at some point, then I would probably do a video on them. Fofana in particular is a player I'm watching at the moment, so yeah, we could see that. João Neves, more of an 8. Yeah, really good player, but definitely more of an 8. Yeah, João Neves, not really a 6 by any means. He's an all-action midfielder who does everything. Not too dissimilar to Kobe Mainu. Great player, though. I'm quite proud to say I was quite early on, you know, propping him. Really good player. Licher played as a left centre-back in a back 3 or a back 5 in the Netherlands versus Argentina game at the World Cup. I need to watch it then. Need to watch it. The other thing with those suggesting Fofana is he's potentially a really good backup option, because he's probably 25 to 30 million pounds. Potential backup option. Can you please play Football Manager? Well, first of all, thank you for being a member for so long. Greatly appreciate that. I did play Football Manager at one point. It completely crashed my laptop and everything trying to stream it, but I'm working on doing it again at some point. So it will return, probably on a second channel, but, you know, I'll advertise that as and when it happens. The Netherlands-Argentina game from the World Cup. Thank you guys for doing the research for me. I will watch that at some point. I remember watching it. That's the Weghorst game. The Weghorst game. And Messi getting angry with Van Gaal. You really hate the Fofana option. I don't think he is that good. Sometimes you need to sign squad players, though. Not every signing can be, you know, a £90 million starter. Look at City with Kovacic, Nunes, even Akanji, someone who they probably didn't sign to be a starter. Being that squad player, someone who can come into the team, they're useful players. Am I the only one who thinks Mount, if he starts, can be really good for us? No, I agree. I also think he can. I think Mount's a great player. Really good footballer. I'm going to skip the adverts for you guys again because your support has been incredible. and you've held the viewer count at over 100 for the whole stream. So I'm going to skip the adverts for you guys. Would you take Rabiot on a free? That might be something to look at. Not necessarily Rabiot, but free signings. That might be something to look at. Just don't know where Mount starts, to be honest. The world where Mount starts is a world where Kobbie Mainoo is the 6, or closer to being a 6, and it's next, Mount plays next to him. In, that sort of midfield. That's the world where Mount starts. Personally, I prefer Mainoo as an 8, so it kind of takes Mount out a little bit. But as VK said there, Mount and Mainoo did play together in pre-season, so we can definitely see that again. These players are free agents in the summer. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Rabiot, Ndidi, Iheanacho, Che Adams, Jorginho. Would you take any of these players? I've always thought Iheanacho represents great value in the market for someone to go get him. Not sure if that's United. Rabiot's a good player as well. None of them scream out to me. That midfield lacks a true destroyer, though. Not the biggest fan. I agree, personally. AJ, what is the duration for Ten Hag to determine concrete playing style by which United are recognisable? Also, what do you think of relativism? Easy for me to say. And adding a dash of it to our playing style. In terms of how long for Ten Hag to, determine a concrete playing style, pretty quick. Pretty quick, by the end of the season, realistically. And then, once you've established what you want your playing style to be, and then in the summer you go get the players who can help you with it. But I think we need to make changes early. Yeah, Rabiot is someone who seems to bring drama wherever he goes. Particularly his mother, as Matt has pointed out there. Really not a fan of Mount, nor am I of Bruno, being honest, but I actually prefer Mount to Bruno. Stylistically, my typical preference is someone like Mason Mount, but I do love the pure creative output of Bruno Fernandes. He'll fit right in if he causes trouble. Yeah, possibly. Just trying to catch up in chat. We'll be live for about 20 more minutes, guys, just so you're aware. Keep you a little heads up. When Arsenal were after Lisandro Martinez, it was to play him as a left-back. Exactly. And for them to do that, they obviously saw something. Although in terms of the defensive side of it, they also thought Zinchenko could defend that area, which, turned out to be wrong. The Rabiot and Ndidi profiles are good, but we want younger players. Ndidi is someone I've never been a massive fan of. A really good ball winner. Really good ball winner, but technically I don't think he's ever been that great on the ball. But he has improved this season in the Championship. Under a different manager, in a different system, different play style, more possession. He's improving. What do you think of us possibly getting Potter as the next manager? Personally, I'd love Tuchel. Tuchel would be right up there for me, although I don't know if it's possible. But Tuchel's a great manager. Potter, not sure. Not really sure about Potter. I think he was a great manager at Brighton. I was a big fan of him. And I wanted him to make that next big move to a big club. But it just didn't work for him at all at Chelsea. Can we judge him after a bad spell at Chelsea? Possibly not, because Chelsea are run horrifically. So perhaps it's harsh to judge him based on that. 2 years ago, everyone thought Potter was the next big thing. So there's something there still. Tuchel over Potter, but I'm still praying it works with Ten Hag. Yep. I back that. Potter would disgust me. Would you take Conor Gallagher? He'd be a good squad player, but again, probably just not what we need. In terms of Potter, going back to it, he is someone who, working with a better, directive above him, and a better board above him, and better footballing people, like he had at Brighton, he could build something incredible. Tactically, my concern is he tinkers a lot. He changes from game to game, and I just don't feel that big teams do that. I feel like big teams have a more established way of playing. Smaller sides, you tinker to cater because the opposition have better players than you. Whereas when you're at a top club, you have the better players. So that's my concern tactically with Potter. That's my main concern. Off the pitch, there's then talks about, does he really command the dressing room and things like that? Again, I don't know, because I don't know Graham Potter personally, but it is something that people talk about. Those are kind of my two concerns. Potter at Brighton didn't score a lot of goals. Very true. Although I do believe their XG numbers were always very high. Very high. And was let down by some poor finishing. Again, I would feel like I'd need to go back and watch a lot of games under Graham Potter, see how he does things. Don't know. Potter feels like a school teacher, and I didn't respect my teacher. Well, I feel sorry for your teacher then. But yeah, I get what you're saying. What about Xabi Alonso? Great manager. Yeah, with the whole Potter and the goals thing, they were like renowned for creating really good chances and just missing them. I remember the expected goals philosophy, their official Twitter page, were constantly tweeting about Brighton because they were always creating good chances but just not scoring the goals. You'd expect at United, perhaps there's the quality to score the goals, hopefully by the summer. Not sure. Potter doesn't have the personality to control a dressing room like United. Yeah, that's where my concern lies more. Corey saying the opposite. I don't think Potter would be a tactical improvement on Ten Hag, but I definitely think he'd be a better presence in the locker room. I guess, obviously again, locker room, not too sure. I guess tactically, the thing he would have over Ten Hag is just knowing the Premier League more. So perhaps that would be a factor. Would I take Jose back? No. Seems like everyone here just completely forgot what Potter did at Chelsea. I find it difficult to judge with Potter again because would any manager do well at Chelsea? I think Pochettino's a good manager, but struggling at Chelsea. Granted, he's making tactical errors, so I don't know. You got to consider the environment these managers are in. You have to respect Potter's come up, absolutely. Corey, I think it'd be an improvement on Ten Hag, but not much. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, let's. How do we get onto manager talk? Did I start that? If so, I apologise for going on that tangent. We've had a vote which has been up for 15 minutes now, which I haven't acknowledged. 84 votes total, by the way, which is incredible. 52% have said you would prioritise signing a 6. I agree. Right centre back, 35%. Backup striker, 13%. Which, I think is completely reasonable. I know I've got my holding midfielder and centre back the other way around, but they're right up there. Thank you very much, though, to everyone who voted in that poll. Greatly appreciate the interaction, as always. Let me end the poll. There we go. Redondo and Locatelli is 60 million. Redondo release clause of 10 million. Welbeck on a free in the summer. Oh, the stream's died. Has the stream died for you guys as well? Did the stream just completely die for you guys, or just for me? On my end, the whole thing just died. Are we good? Let me know in chat if you guys are seeing me and hearing me. For me, the whole thing died just for a solid 30 seconds there. You guys good? Alright. We're good? Okay, cool. Like I said, for me, everything just died on itself. Not sure what happened there. I have no idea what I was saying either. It died for a second. We're good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You guys in chat let me know. Absolute legends. I don't suppose, to prove that you're legends, we could get an extra 4 likes. About 30 of you in the stream right now haven't liked the stream. And, as the regulars here will know, I can see who hasn't liked the stream. So, I'm looking at you. Come on, just press like. It's really easy to do. You just, click it or tap it, depending on what device you're using. Like the stream. Honestly, I really recommend it. Okay, someone disliked the stream or removed their like. That is rude. Whoever done that, poor behaviour. You have ancient tech. That is not very nice. Matt said we can hear you, but you're speaking French. Then, boy oh boy, the stream is working way worse than I thought it was. Like the stream, or he will send you to the Shadow Realm. That is a rumor which has been going about. Ruben Amorim or Tuchel when he's fired would be my choices. I like that. I like that a lot. You have more likes than I have subs. Mark, be patient. Keep working at your channel. The subs will grow. Trust me. Yesterday, by the way, I didn't realise this until this morning. Yesterday was my 800th video. Insane. Insane. That deserves a like itself, surely. We need one more like for 80. There we go, we hit it. Thank you guys very much. Cubby Manu, what's his ideal? I'm not going to discuss it today because I done it in a video, yesterday's video, I believe. Thoughts on Thiago Motta? Good manager. I like what he's doing, but need to see more of him as a manager, more different tests and things like that. Great job I'm doing. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Although I did just have a voice crack as I said that, so a little bit ironic. 182 likes. Incredible. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, Flick is another interesting manager. Someone I'm not sure on. Obviously done a really good job at Bayern. It'd be interesting to see how well his tactics would kind of come over to the Premier League. How adaptable he is as well. I recall he used a lot of a 4-2-3-1, I believe. How have I missed the Manu video? Yeah, I think it went out yesterday morning, I believe. If you want to make sure you don't miss a video, you know what you can do? Turn notifications on. Look at that for a little bit of promo. VK, you are too kind, my friend. You are an absolute legend. VK has just gifted 10 memberships. So 10 of you guys, which were not members before, are now members, all because of the generosity of VK, who I believe holds the record for the most gifted members on the channel. And I tell you why, because he's an absolute legend. An absolute legend. If you guys could say thank you by spamming some love hearts in the chat, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. VK, thank you so much as always. If anyone wants to challenge VK for the status as #1 membership donator, good luck. Absolute legend, VK. Oh, you do have notifications on? Yeah, sometimes these things just slip through for one reason or another. Ali with the $10 donation. Speaking of absolute legends of the channel, we've gone from the person who gives the most memberships, VK, to the person who always donates the most. And that is Ali, the absolute legend of this channel. Thank you so much as always. Another $10. Saying, on a side note, Iraq played Japan today in the Asia Cup. As an American from Iraqi origin, sorry, let me just try and read this. Please keep me on your thoughts. Big up AJ in the community as always. Thank you so much, Ali, for the donation. Out of interest, has anyone been watching the Asia Cup or the African Cup of Nations? Has anyone been watching them? Because I've been tempted to do perhaps a video on one of the two of them. Perhaps talents which are playing at certain tournaments. But thank you, as always, for the donation, Ali. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Just a legend. You guys are just legends. Ali has now realised the game's already been played and they won. I didn't realise either. Happy days. Japan have a good side as well, don't they? I've been watching some AFCON games, says Edwick. Yeah, I'm yet to catch... No, I did catch one game last week. What did I watch? Who did Ivory Coast play in their first game? Whoever Ivory Coast played in their first game, I watched that. And then they played Nigeria yesterday, and I want to watch that game back at some point. Who did Ivory Coast play in their first game of the African Cup of Nations? I watched that game. Still saw that we let Zidane Iqbal go. Yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of check in and see how he's doing so far this season. I might do that at some point. The Iraq win was a shocker. Yeah, Japan are a good side. They were certainly good at the World Cup last year. Year before now. Crazy. Tuchel or Amorim, which one do you prefer? Probably Tuchel only for the fact that he's done it over a few more years at the top level, whereas Amarim is, 3 or 4 years playing managing, in the top division. But they're both good options, both really good options, so I need to watch more. Did you see a Diamond versus Victor Osimhen? No, I'm going to watch that game back either tonight or tomorrow on 2x speed. I want to go through that game, see what went on, basically. Because I want to see how they got on battling against each other. Corey saying he hasn't seen any of the African Cup of Nations games, but he's heard some of the results. And he's heard Osimhen is not playing well, which doesn't surprise him, considering he's incredibly overrated. Is he incredibly overrated? I don't think he's incredibly overrated. I think he's a little bit overrated, though. Obviously a great player, a great outlet. His physical traits make him insane, a great finisher. But I think his all-round game is yet to be complete, if you know what I mean. So I don't think he's there yet. So in that essence, yeah, I guess he is a little bit overrated. But still a good player. That game was a bit nuts. I need to watch it back then. Ivory Coast played Guinea in the first game. Thank you very much. You watched Liverpool versus Bayern live in Singapore this pre-season. Tuchel is a sound manager, to be honest. Hope you enjoyed the game. I think I watched that game, actually. I did. Yeah, Tuchel's a good manager. Can't lie, Diamond is strong. Yeah, physically very good. Very, very good. I want to watch some of his games at this tournament to see him in a different environment. They're also playing in a back four as well. Whereas at Sporting, he plays in a back three, which obviously asks different questions of you. So, yeah, I do want to catch some of that. Apologies if you can hear some background noise. There's a tractor going outside. I can't do much about it unless I go and attack the guy, but probably won't end well. I'm not very big, so. We're on 84 likes, by the way, guys. We've currently got more likes than people in the stream. Just the AJ Analysis channel is what we do. The striker drought makes Osimhen overrated. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you might be right there. Anyway, guys. Unless anyone has any last-minute questions, which I'll give you time for, we are going to wrap up there. It's been a really productive stream, I feel, today. I think in terms of what we've got on screen here, we've ended up prioritising the right centre-back, the 6, and the striker. And then I think we kind of agree that you probably get one of right-back or another centre-back. So perhaps what we'll do next week on the stream is actually look at some players for these positions. Pardon me, I do apologise. So I think that's what we might do in the next stream. I'll come to you guys with some players for these areas. In terms of right-backs, video out tomorrow. We've just hit 85 likes. Incredible. Your support today, unbelievably good. I thought today was going to be a quiet stream. But with up until right at the end here, we've had over 100 people watching the whole time. Incredible. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, that's the plan for next week. In terms of the other stream next week, we'll be looking ahead to the Notts County game, coming up with a 11 for that game. Hopefully a chance to see a lot of the young players, the youth players. That's one thing I should say. As much as United are terrible to watch, it's not the same without them playing. We've been treated the last couple of seasons or tortured by the fact that they've played every 3 or 4 days. And, watching just no United for 2 weeks at a time, it's boring, isn't it? It's dull. You think Ten Hag will put out a strong team against Newport? He might do just because of the lack of matches, but I really hope in that game we see at least a little bit of rotation. VK, thank you very much for that final donation. I greatly appreciate it. Saying, be kind always, people. Always really good advice from VK, by the way. Not only is he super generous with these donations and also the gifted memberships, but he's also got a nice little message to go with it as well. Be kind always. A great message. Thank you very much, VK. Hope you have a great day. And also, everyone, have a great weekend. Before we get there, Ali with another donation to $5. Big up for all have been involved. Couldn't word it better. Again, Ali, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. You're all absolute legends. You are all absolute legends. Kasuni we'll discuss another day. We'll discuss him next week, mate. Yeah, thank you so much, Ali. Thank you so much. VK meant to say lovely stream. All good, mate. I knew what you meant. Thank you very much. I think we finished the stream, guys. But if you are a member, turn the chat green. So go to your emojis and spam love hearts, spam flames, spam hundreds, whatever, anything you've got, any green emojis you've got, or emotes, spam it in the chat. Spam it in the chat. I feel like that'll be a good way to finish. Well, the stream is also dying as I'm saying this as well, by the way. Apart from that, though, we are finished for today. So thank you guys, everyone who's donated, everyone who has gifted memberships. Greatly appreciate you guys as always. Also, thank you to everyone who voted in the poll. Really makes for a good interactive stream. All 85 of you which liked the stream, again, absolute legends. We actually got to 87 in the end, which is incredible. We had 20 gifted memberships. Just great all round. Thank you to everyone who sat quietly and just kind of watched, minding their own business. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the discussion. You're all absolute legends. Plenty of content coming to the channel in the next week or so. So subscribe, get notifications on, leave likes, tell your friends. We're trying to grow the channel. We need 22,000 subscribers. We need 22,000 subscribers. Please, guys, by the end of the month, we're going to get there. But, you know, let's give it one last push. Tell your friends about the channel. Advertise it to everyone you know. Make your dog an account and tell him to subscribe. Whatever you want to do. AJ, do you do call-in streams? Maybe in the future. If you want that, subscribe. Maybe at 30,000 subscribers was the idea I've had in my head. Subscribe to the channel and we might just get that. Apart from that, though, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I do this every time. I now have this stupid bit where I try and find the end stream button. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.